In a world of political diatribes, when it feels like your country is being pulled apart, when it seems that the America you grew up in is being taken away, comes one man. That one man is Mike Spears.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Spearsy Spin. And I'm going to be your host, your guide, if you will, here for the next, I give up putting times on this thing because they've been putting so much stuff in each one, it's impossible to know. We got a lot of things to cover here in the show. First by telling you about the passing of Lieutenant General Lawrence M. Snowden of the United States Marine Corps. 95 years old. We're going to pay a small tribute to him on our show today. Also, the sad passing of Alan Colmes. If you're not familiar with that name, Alan was a liberal talk show host, a liberal radio personality, and a Fox News contributor. Actually worked with Sean Hannity for a number of years with the Hannity and Colmes show. Sad, very, very nice person. Always nice. That's all I can say. Very, very nice. Never loud, never obnoxious. Sad. We'll also hear from Paul Harvey from 1964, and we have a clip of him actually predicting the future. So you'll want to hear that. Also, we'll be talking about and analyzing this. This is the MSNBC anchorwoman says that the media controls what you think. So we're going to be looking at that, talking about it. First, though, I want to talk a little bit about Lieutenant General Lawrence F. Snowden, United States Marine Corps. And I talk about this quite often, and that is, what does a hero look like? Well, this man is the epitome of being a hero. Now, he just passed away February 18th. He was 95 years old. And I'm saddened because I didn't see this in any papers. I didn't hear about his death on the radio. I didn't hear a congressman or senator get on any media and talk about it. But that's kind of the way it is. A lot of veterans are forgotten, and that's sad. But General Snowden actually went on to become the highest-ranking Marine Corps veteran from World War II. Now, in 1945, he commanded a company of Marines up the Black Sands of Iwo Jima. And I got to tell you, in my lifetime, I have had the honor, and I truly mean the honor, of shaking the hands of 3 Marines that were on Iwo Jima. And I mean it's an honor. More so than some of the other folks I've met, and I've met some interesting people. And I'll always remember all 3 of these Marines. So to hear about somebody such as Lieutenant General Snowden just kind of being forgotten about, that saddens me. Well, it appears as though that General Snowden continued to lead Marines through the Korean conflict and, of course, the Vietnam War. Now, in addition to these accomplishments, during his 37 years of active duty, General Snowden is known for his participation in the reunion of honor missions, and that's where the Marines and Japanese veterans would meet to, recognize the sacrifices made during World War II.
When wars are won, they're not won by bombing. They're not won by naval gunfire. They're won when a grunt moves forward, plants the flag and says, we're in charge. And it's the spirit of that 18-year-old Marine that brought us what we are today.
Those were the words of Lieutenant General Lawrence F. Snowden, United States Marine Corps, 37 years of service. Again, passed away February 18th at 95 years of age. We salute him and we thank you, sir, for your service to our country.
I've been told that Black women aren't supposed to support the Second Amendment. I've been told I shouldn't want to be able to protect myself. I shouldn't teach my fellow students about their rights, and I shouldn't speak my mind. Thank God I didn't listen. To all those who have called me a sellout, an Uncle Tom, or a pawn for someone else, here's what should scare you. I never changed my beliefs. I woke up and realized that you don't represent them. You don't speak for me, and you don't think for me. I am not the victim you need me to be. And I'm talking to more women like me every single day. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
Hello, this is Captain Jack Sparrow. So you've already met this dastardly scoundrel who calls himself Mike Spears. That would mean that you're listening to the Spearsy Spin. Right. By my reckoning, if you give a thumbs up and subscribe, this would make you one of the crew. Savvy?
Mr. President, in talking about the continuing recession tonight, you have blamed mistakes of the past, and you have blamed the Congress. Does any of the blame belong to you?
Yes, because for many years I was a Democrat.
I have to interrupt right here and tell you that in one of my visits, I won't name him, I don't want to embarrass him, but one of the heads of state that I met with on this visit, he gave me one while I was on the way. Told me the story about the two fellows in the Soviet Union that were walking down the street, and the one of them says, "Have we really achieved full communism? Is this it? Is this now full communism?" And the other one said, "Oh, hell no, things are going to get a lot worse."
And that was Mr. Ronald Reagan, former president. And now we're going to head over to Mr. Paul Harvey in just a second. But first, I want to tell you, if you'd like to write to us here at this Spearsy Spin, our email address is kcv447@gmail.com. That's kcv447@gmail.com. Now let's give a listen to Paul Harvey. This was recorded in 1965. It's called "If I Were the Devil," and it's crazy. It sounds like he wrote it 10 minutes before this was recorded here today. Pay particular attention because it's scary. He recorded this in 1965.
If I were the devil, if I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree, thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, "Do as you please." To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing. Paul Harvey. Good day.
Seems like it's today. It seems like he being Paul Harvey just wrote that piece now. Amazing. Just amazing. And some sad news to report in the news. Alan Colmes, who was a liberal radio host for years and years and years in New York City, actually he was on WNBC, and he was there when NBC finally closed down the radio enterprise there. But Alan Colmes was forever on the air. He played with Sean Hannity. They had a show together, Hannity and Colmes, or Colmes and Hannity, whatever it was. But Alan Colmes passed away today at 66 years old, and he is, of course, a liberal radio host, but just a nice guy, a wonderful guy. And I know that he was friends with a gentleman by the name of Michael Sarzinski at WNBC, who I knew, and it's sad. It's sad.
Well, Fox News is reporting that liberal contributor and radio host Alan Colmes has died. Colmes spent years at Fox alongside Sean Hannity on the primetime talk show Hannity and Colmes. He also worked as a radio host. He got his start in the business as a stand-up comedian. His death comes after a brief illness. Colmes was 66.
This is the second death in the Fox family this week. Prominent business anchor Brenda Butner lost her battle to cancer earlier.
I emigrated from Venezuela, one of the most dangerous countries in the world today. A few years ago, the government came for our guns. We were told we would be safer without them. Of course, the politicians, the rich and famous, their bodyguards and criminals, they still have their guns. Everyone else lives in fear. Mothers and fathers are powerless to defend their families. But the drug cartels and gangs, the colectivos, still have all the guns they want, and 90% of murders are never solved. The biggest mistake Venezuelans made was believing that this could never happen. today, they would do anything for the Second Amendment freedom that we enjoy as Americans. Never, ever take it for granted. I am the National Rifle Association of America, and I am freedom's safest place.
I have a message from Mike Spears at the Spearsy Spin. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for a quality show, I can tell you I have no class. But what I do have is a very particular set of radio skills. These skills make this show a favorite for people like you. If you subscribe now, that will be the end of it. If you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will bug you until you subscribe.
And we're back here, and you know, what a sad week, a sad time. Fox News has lost two folks over there within the week. Again, Alan Colmes, so sorry to hear that. Well, coming up though, we have a situation. Yes, that's right. Because we have a news group that claims that it's their job to control how you think. And they explain that by saying that President Donald Trump right now is trying to take the narrative of telling the news people how they should think. Well, they don't seem to like it too much. And the news people at MSNBC, they think it's their job to tell you what to think. Give a listen.
Exactly. That's exactly what I hear. What Yamiche just said is what I hear from all the Trump supporters that I talk to who were Trump voters and are still Trump supporters. They go, yeah, you guys are going crazy. He's doing, what are you so surprised about? He's doing exactly what he said he's going to do.
Well, and I think that the dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah, if you look at the issues.
That is our job. That was Mika, I think. Yeah. And that's our job, is to control what people think. It's not the president's job. He's too busy making up his own facts. It probably does get tiresome. Well, folks, that's our show. I hope you'll like it. We're trying to get our format figured out here. Remember, please subscribe, like the page. You can see us on Twitter, Facebook, and, of course, YouTube. And remember, there's only one world, so let's all try to live. Let's all try to live in it. We're going to leave you tonight, instead of the regular sign-off, we're going to leave you tonight remembering Alan Colmes, stand-up comedian, radio personality, did the last show on WNBC in New York City, Fox News contributor. God bless him.